Hey guys, this is EJ Holland with the Wolverine.com, and Michigan just got a brand new commit. We have wall-to-wall coverage on 300 offensive lineman Nathan Efobi over at the Wolverine.com right now for just $10 until next football season. That's $10 until August of 2023. Go ahead and subscribe to the Wolverine.com, just $10 until next football season. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is completely free. We're dropping daily content, and we had this one ready to go. Efobi commits to Michigan over Miami. A big win for the Wolverines along the offensive line. Efobi, an on 300 prospect. I know the rankings are a little all over the place for him. On3 has him ranked really high, like I just said, top 150. So he is an on 300 prospect, but is actually ranked in the top 150 by On3. The other three recruiting services have him as a 3-star. I think the answer is somewhere in the middle. Look, Efobi, you put on the tape, and he's really impressive as a tackle. He's really athletic. He has good feet. He's going to add weight. He has the frame to put on quite a few pounds, and so he projects as more of an interior prospect. But Michigan sees him as a guy that can swing. He can play right guard. He can play left guard. He can play right tackle. So those are the positions that Michigan really envisions him at. He probably can't play center right now. That's not really a plan, and he probably can't do left tackle, but they do see him playing either of the guard spots or potentially right tackle. Like I said, Efobi has good feet, good athleticism, but he's still really, really raw, and that's why I think some sites aren't as high on him as On3. When Efobi first started his recruiting journey, a lot of schools were interested in him as a defensive lineman. They saw the length, and that's one thing that really, really stood out to Michigan. They saw this kid that they think can project to the interior of the offensive line, and they saw the length, and they really, really fell in love with that, combined with that athleticism that I was talking about. But the length also projected well to the defensive line. He played a lot of defensive line early on in his high school career, so a lot of schools started recruiting him there. Eventually, he got more tape along the offensive line, and it really impresses. I mean, you can see it here on the YouTube channel. He's putting guys in the dirt. He's using his length to his advantage. He's using the athleticism. He's using his feet. Still technically raw. I do think he's going to have to polish up, probably take a redshirt year like most offensive linemen do going into college. Take a redshirt year, maybe another year to really develop his technique and polish up his skill set, add weight, develop in the strength and conditioning program. But when you have such a raw athlete with really good athleticism, I don't think there's anybody in the country that's better suited to develop that person than Ben Herbert, Michigan's strength and conditioning coach. He has done a fantastic job of working with all players on Michigan's roster, but especially the offensive line. You see the gains that they've made and the way they've been performing on the field. And then, of course, Sharon Moore, having played offensive line himself, does a fantastic job of coaching the line. Joe Moore Award winners last year, in the running for the Joe Moore Award again this year. Sharon Moore has been one of the most talented recruiters on this staff. Obviously, offensive line got off to a slow start earlier this cycle. They haven't landed those premier guys, but Sharon Moore had a lot going on early in the offseason. Not only is he the offensive line coach, which is a tough position to coach. Before that, he was obviously coaching tight ends and was considered an elite recruiter. But it's hard to be an offensive line coach, an elite recruiter, and then on top of that, add co-offensive coordinator responsibilities. He also had a lot going on personally, having a newborn child. So I think with him, it was finding the right time management, balancing everything, making sure he was allocating his time to the correct duties. And I think he's gotten back on track with offensive line recruiting. Obviously, you're pairing Efobi with Amir Herring, who has a really, really high floor, one of the safest interior offensive line takes across the country. And you also landed Evan Link, and that was probably the best recruiting job by any staff member at Michigan this cycle. If you remember, Evan Link was really high on Stanford, and Penn State was trending to both of those schools, even canceled his Michigan official visit. However, Sharon Moore never stopped fighting for him, got him on campus for right before the barbecue at the Big House, and landed a commitment. So now Michigan has a safe interior take in Herring, a really upside interior take in Efobi, and one of the best tackle prospects in the country in Evan Link. The Wolverines would like to add at least one more offensive lineman to round out the group, but I think Moore has bounced back strong, and Efobi is or was one of the better interior offensive linemen left on the board across the country. He is set to make his official visit in December. I think that Efobi will stick with Michigan through the early signing period and ink with the Wolverines. Michigan now has 16 verbal pledges in the 2023 recruiting class and is looking to keep climbing the rankings as we head into the all-important date of December 21st, which is National Signing Day. All right, guys, thanks for joining me for more coverage on the Nathan Efobi commitment. Make sure to subscribe to the Wolverine.com right now, just $10 until next football season. That gets you premium insider information on recruiting, the football team, basketball recruiting, all for $10 until August of next year.